Welcome to the participants of this fifth session in the Peace Corps workshop series, Forum for English Teachers. We call it FET. And welcome to those of you who are watching this recording of this session. This session today is facilitated by Dr. Kay Strong. She has a PhD in economics and is a member of the Association of Professional Futurists. Kay is a returned Peace Corps volunteer, and she recently supported the Peace Corps Sri Lanka program as a virtual service participant, working virtually with the Sri Lankan teachers to co-teach communicative lessons to students to improve their English communication skills. Peace Corps is a US government agency and is in Sri Lanka on the invitation of the government of Sri Lanka. We work as partners to the Ministry of Education. Our focus is on supporting communicative English language learning in rural and underserved schools in Sri Lanka by placing US volunteers as teachers in the schools. Now, as you know, the volunteers' arrival is delayed owing to situations beyond our control. We have many activities to support teachers to build capacity, and the Forum for English Teachers is one such activity. So today's topic is practical digital tools that will enhance Sri Lankan classrooms. And it is so important in today's context. Every teacher has the challenge of making the online environment as exciting as they make their physical classroom. So what is achieved in the classroom, the kinesthetic learning process of children moving around, coming up to the board, and such activities cannot be achieved in an online classroom. Teachers can, however, make the online classroom more interactive by using all the features and tools available with online platforms, enhancing the online learning environment for students and making learning more fun and more interactive. So Dr. Kay Strong demonstrates the use of effective interactive online tools in this session and allows teachers to learn by doing. Over to you, Kay.
First, let me thank everyone who is present. I really appreciate the fact that you would join again on a Friday in the later afternoon. I know how difficult it is for teachers. We work all week and we do get tired, and we look forward to our weekends. So I want to thank you for joining me. What I have to offer today, I hope will be beneficial to you. I selected 5 digital tools that I think can be used to extend your classroom beyond the structure of the face-to-face environment. I've prepared instructions for you that you can do on the off time if you want to practice those. And I'm hoping to be able to do a quick practice session on each of the 5 tools while we're present. So let me share my screen. So here we're looking at the practical digital tools for the classroom. And just like every good teacher, we are going to have some objectives. My specific goal for this particular session is just to expose you to some practical tools that can be used in the classroom. My measurable goal is that you will, during this session, at least try to work with one of the digital tools. We know that it is through practice that we're able to develop the skills that we need to use these tools. And I can assure you that I didn't come by these tool sets overnight. I've worked with them, I've gotten better with them. So it's a skill set that we learn just like everything else when we engage in teaching. My achievable goal is that you aspire to try at least one of these tools in your classroom. My realistic goal is that you'll be able to communicate the value of these digital tools in the classroom. And my time-bound goal is that you at least sign up for one of the new tools sometime in the next 2 weeks. You'll have an opportunity to do so while we're working together. But ideally, these are the objectives that I seek to achieve today. Now, I want to have you be aware of the fact that I'm going to be sharing links in Google Documents. So most of the work that I've done here, I've created in Google. So if you have a Google account, you have a drive in which you can collect documents and share them. So I will be sharing them. I'm going to put them in the Zoom chat box, and that will allow you either to access the website or actually download the documents, the files themselves, and keep them. Each of the files provide you with background information on the tool, as well as the instructions for working with the tool. So if you don't use it today, perhaps you'll be able to use it at some other point in time. So before I start, what I'd like to do is offer you an opportunity to try a tool. I'm going to put this link in the chat box for everyone. And if you will click on the link and go there, you'll be able to answer a brief check-in question. Has everyone been able to access the link? Ah, there we go. Now we're getting some feedback. Very good. We're looking to discover digital tools, technology, access, online. The one thing you hope to get out of this forum. Technology is the bigger word that's coming up here. Again, technology is becoming bigger and bigger, and knowledge about the digital tools. Very good. Everyone has a sense of why they're here. You're looking for knowledge or information. You're looking for something valuable, something new. I love new tools. I thrive on being able to try out new things. Sometimes I'm very successful, sometimes I'm not, but that doesn't prevent me from continuing to try. You want to learn something. Okay. You can continue to add your words if you want, what one thing you want, I hope to get out of this forum today. I'm going to stop sharing and return back to the slide. There's something else that I want you to be able to do. Where am I? I think I need to exit from him. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share a link with you that will allow you to access a Google document. And that Google document is a place for you to go ahead and record, if you will, your thoughts or comments that you might have as we pass through the session. I like the chat box, but the chat box is really, really tiny. So this is another place that we can record all of our comments and keep them for later in case we want to share. So let me go ahead and share. I have made it so anyone can have the link. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it back in the chat box. As you enter a comment, other people will be able to see it. So it is an open document for sharing. So if you have the capacity, go ahead and download it if you'd like to have access to it and record your comments, your thoughts, your responses as we pass through this session. And multiple people can work on it simultaneously, so that's not problematic. All right, so now let's go back to the forum. This is the process that I hope to pass through today. We'll look at a practical example of the tool. We'll look at goals and application. I'll provide you with a quick description of the tool. Every tool that I've chosen is free, at least within a prescribed limits. So there's no cost to your using it. And then we'll do a try it together. The tools that I've chosen are ones that are for polls and surveys, online voice recorder, a video capture,
Recording in progress.
bulletin board, and digital game. So those would be the 5 tools that you'll be exposed to. All right, so let's start with our first poll. Back to you, Pri. There's a poll that you should be able to respond to. It's quick and easy.
Can you see the poll?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
you can see.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have 2 questions. Have you used a survey or polling tool in your lessons or learning activities? Yes or no? What device are you on right now? That question is for us to get a feel as to how many are on mobiles and how many are on laptops, tabs, or computers, just for us to know.
It looks like we're about 50-50 on the laptops and the mobiles. And almost half for whether you've used surveys or polling tools in your lessons. So we have lots of experience out there. We have 70.
86% have participated. Do you want to hold on a little or do you want to close the poll?
You can do as you wish. I think we have 75 or 77 persons right now that are in the sessions. You decide on the poll. I just need a little sense.
Right. Okay. So it looks like, okay. So these are the results. There's 46% who have used polling as a tool in their lessons and 54% who have never used polling in their lessons and in laptops and mobiles. That's fine. I'm going to stop sharing and hand it back to you. Okay.
All righty. Thank you. Okay. So we have about 50% experience with polling. Just out of curiosity, in the chat box, can you indicate what tool you're using for surveys or polls? Just put the words in there real quickly, if you could, for those of you who have used it, just so I have a sense. Polly. Google Forms. Okay, Google Forms is a good option. Google Forms and questions. Okay, Google Forms. Okay, somebody has used Mentimeter. Okay, good, thank you. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take you to our first tool. The first one is the Mentimeter. What you just did in answering the Mentimeter poll, it was a 60-second check-in. So 60-second check-in is something that I was doing when I was collaborating with my colleagues in Sri Lanka. Almost every session, I would always begin the session by asking the students in the class how they were feeling, or to get a sense of what their day was like. And I would use the Mentimeter tool. So what I'd like to do is share that tool with you. I'm going to give you access to the shared tool so that if you wish, you can actually download it with me and work your way through it. All right, so this is the, sorry, meant to be at the top. Okay, so this is the Mentimeter tool. Again, because it's a Google document, I can share it. So I've already decided that I want everyone to have access, and I would like you all to be editors on it, which means that you can change it at any time you would like. So I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to put it in the chat box for you. If you're on a device that allows you to download, you can go ahead and keep it. Okay, so Mentimeter is a tool that allows you to easily engage your audience using their laptops or their phones or whatever digital device they have, and provide you with real-time feedback. I asked you the question about what is the one thing you hope to get out of this session, and you provided me with responses, and it was in real time. It was happening right now. So the goal of Mentimeter is to bring active learning into the classroom and engage learners in the content. It's also really beneficial for learners who are timid, that is shy about participating, because you don't have to expose yourself when you respond. It allows you to gather data and refine the learning experiences that you're offering to your students. We did the check-in and you all responded. So what ways can we use this Mentimeter? We used it to gather a little bit of information. I used it basically as a icebreaker, a simple question that allowed you to feel like you were involved in the presentation. We can also use it for purposes of connection. It allows you to make contact, if you will, with your learners and sense how they're feeling or thinking at that particular moment in time. And doing so brings a sense of belonging, and it can help strengthen learners' motivation. When I asked you the question about what you wanted to bring to the class or to this particular forum, you had an opportunity to interact with me. It was minor, yes, but it was still one opportunity that you had where you could connect with me. Empathy is another thing that allows for, because the responses with regard to thoughts or reactions of your learners can be anonymous. It also allows you to have a sense of empathy and show respect for the learner's ideas. It allows for reflection. In the case of the poll that I offered, it gave us a collective chance to think about a particular concept. You know, what is it that we want to get? We're all here. There are lots of us present. What is it that we want to get? And also, if you think about it, Mentimeter can be used to gauge the level of understanding by asking questions intermittently throughout your learning session. And I think this is particularly important when we're doing it virtually. We don't have the same sense that students are necessarily engaged in our classroom or in our content. In addition to the check-in, oftentimes this can be used for an exit ticket. And what an exit ticket is an attempt to solicit from the learner, you know, what difficulty might you have had in this particular lesson, or what's one important thing that you take away from it. Is another way for us to inform, if you will, our lesson planning. It may suggest that we need to go backward and make an adjustment or repeat something that we've done already. It also can help your students to reflect on what they did learn. So it's not a case of I come to class, I sit there, I listen, then I go home and I'm all finished. Sometimes reflection is good. All right, so now the tool itself. Here's your description. Clicking on this link will take you to the plan. You can choose the free plan, and if you do, all you do is scroll down and click on it in order to enter. So it's free for anyone who wants to try it out, but there are some conditions. You can only ask up to 2 question slides and 5 quiz slides. So they're very specific about the fact that in the free one, you get 2 question slides, and then you get 5 quizzing ones. So the way that I work mine is I will prepare 2 slides, for example, an entrance and an exit poll. And then when I'm finished with it, I retire it and I can start over again the next time. Now, signing up. If you'll click on this link, and I'll put it into the chat box so that anyone can click on it, that will take you to sign up. If you have a Google account, allow Google account to simply be your sign up access. Has everyone been able to access the link? You can go ahead and put it in the chat if you want. I just need a sense whether people were able to access it and enter. What I need to do probably is close my poll because, oh, I did. There. Okay, you can access it. What I don't want to do is I don't want to start until people have a chance to access it and sign up. Because what I want to do is walk you through the process and help you make your first slide. That way you have something set up already that you can emulate in coming days. Do you have a sense that people have been able to access it? Yes, yes, I did. Yes, good, good. Okay, let me go back to share. All right, so for those of you who have been able to access it and create at least an account, what I'm going to do is walk you very slowly through the process of creating one slide. So if you're inside Mentimeter, the first thing you'll do is you'll choose New Presentation. We'll give it a name. I'm just going to say, try it. 2, because I think I have another try it there. I have to stop sharing here for a minute. Let's see if I get the app to open for me. Okay, very good. All right, so now I have a blank slide. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pick the slide type. I have any number of types, so I'm going to do something simple. I'm going to use a word cloud like I did before. Then I'm going to go ahead and ask my question. In this case, my question is going to be, do you like, what did you enjoy today? That's going to be my question. The other thing I'm going to do is I am going to see if I can't send you a picture, an image, if you will, from my desktop, a smiley face. Where's my smiley face? The smiley one. There we go. I put a smiley face into the chat box. So if you would like to go ahead and download it to your desktop or your phone, what you can do is drag and drop it into the image space. I'm going to grab my smiley face and drop it in. There you go. That allows you to have an image on your slide. Okay, so now at this point, we okay? We have our question. We've chosen our type. We don't have to have a word cloud. We could just make it open ended or multiple choice, but I'm going to go with something simple like, did you enjoy today? So at this point, we're all set. We have our first slide. Now, if you want to share it, you come up to the gray box at the top. And what you do is you can change the amount of time you want the link to be available. For example, maybe you want it to be available for 7 days, 2 days, 14. But if you want your participants to share in it, then all you do is either copy the link and post it for them or download the QR code, and you're all set for sharing. So your next task is to present, and to present, all you do is hit the Present tab. This is the screen that you will get, and you will see that you have some tools at the bottom that allow you to do various things. But again, as your participants respond to the question, their answers will show up here for you. Okay. Shamali, can you check and see if there's anything that is a question that's on the audience comment form?
Yes, someone is saying the knowledge of digital tools is really, I think they meant important, but something happened and it just stopped at IAM.
Okay.
Interactive digital tools enhance collaboration, integrated learning. So some people have keyed in something else, something like that.
Okay. Again, you should just be able to keep moving down the page and enter your comments if you want to. All right, so now at this point in time, let me drop back and share the Word document or the Google document. The instructions for the try it are right here. Everything that I just showed you is available here. In step 4, I show you how to present, participants to be invited, and how to share and export your information. So let me stop for a minute and ask, are there any questions that you might want to ask very quickly before I move on to my next tool? Okay, not seeing any. We'll go to the next poll. So our next poll is, have you created audio recordings to add to your lessons or learning activities? Very good. Almost 60% of persons, teachers present, have used audio recordings. 50-50. Very good.
I think 80 is enough. Let's end the poll and share the results to save time.
Yeah, very good. It's about
Very
a 50 here. Thank you, Pri. All right, so now let me take you to our next tool. This next tool involves an online voice recorder that is also free to use. And we'll look at adding audio to your presentations using the tool called Online Voice Recorder, and a quick try it. Let's see. So let me again share. So again, this is a Google document. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to share it. I'm allowing anybody with the link to view it. I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to put it in the chat box. The online voice recorder is a free tool, and it is really easy to use, and it can be done inside your browser. So it allows you to record your voice. You can do snippets. I used it for vocabulary. It saves as a file that you can upload into your presentation. So we can use audio recordings in your presentations. And when I prepared slides for students' practice, it allowed the students to go ahead and do those asynchronously, meaning that they could look at and listen to their vocabulary on their own. It does help to boost their learning because they have pre-practice. You can also use it for formative assessment. Another key is that it is an oral modality for student learning. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I used the vocabulary, and you may have done the same thing. So this was the first set of slides that I sent out for students. It was greetings and introductions. So here's my greetings. This one had both good morning, afternoon, and evening on it, but all the student needed to do, I need to share it. Oops. Sorry. Slideshow. The student need only click on the button. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. So at any point in time during their day, if they wanted to practice, they could do so. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. I also used it to create some short scenarios for them to listen to, some role-playing dialogues. So it had some benefit beyond just vocabulary. So in what ways might audio sound enhance learning? One is refining voice. So when students listened to the slide sets that I provided for them, they had a chance to listen to my tone, my voice, and my pronunciation on these words. It gave them an opportunity to practice and engage in revision. They could practice their words, they could speak English without anyone else listening to them, which I find useful when I'm learning a different language. They could use it to respond to question prompts, read aloud. These things help build a learner's sense of self-confidence in the language. They can be used for self-assessment. You can actually have students record their own voices and use that as a basis for the student to self-assess their own strengths and challenges. But by the same token, you can use it to check proficiency. So the learner doesn't have to be with you in the room. You need only access to the audio sound. All right, so the online voice recorder that I used was this one. I'll put it in the chat in case you don't have access to the Word document. Has everyone been able to have access to it? Can you give me a sense of whether you were able to use the link to access? Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, so now let me go back to sharing. This is just a super, super simple tool to use in terms of voice recording. You don't even need to log in. You don't need to make an account. You can simply use it. So when you click on the red button, this actually starts your recording. And what I typically do is pause for maybe 2 or 3 seconds, just so that I have access to an empty space before I say my word. I'm going to practice it and show you. So I click here and I say, hello, how are you today? And I stop it. So my speech is here. And if I want to listen to it, I simply click here play. And I say, hello, how are you today? Now, if I like it, what I do is I save it. And what it will do is save, and you can put it on your desktop. And so it's from the desktop that we can retrieve this. So let me go ahead and save mine. So it records here, and I'm going to pull it off and drop it. Now I have it, I can access it when I go back to my slide set. So let me see, there was one thing I wanted to share with you, and that's the set of slides. Okay, I'm going to share a set of slides with you if you want to practice with me. I want to share. Please. Let me share. Let me stop for a minute. Okay, there we, oops, we just had it. All right, so. Again, I'm gonna make this link available to anyone, and I'm gonna make you editors, which means you can change it. Let me copy the link, and I'll put it in the chat for you. That will give you some place if you want to go ahead and try the process. Okay. Again, the Try It provides you with the instructions you need where you can use the online voice recorder for the Google Slides. The process is probably similar for other kinds of slides. All right, so we've already done the first part. So now what we need to do is do step 2. How do we get the recording onto the Google slide? All right, so that process is actually fairly simple. What we do is we go into, let me see if I can make this bigger for us. We're going to come in, we're going to do File, then we're going to do Open. And what we want to do is we want to upload the file that we just accessed or downloaded. So I'm going to hit, I think I can drag it, but let me do upload. I'm going to drag my file into the space. Here's my voice recorder. I'm just dropping it into the file. All right, what will happen is you'll see this black slide, and it's okay. It allows you to go ahead and listen. What we want to do is go back over here to the audio page. So now the next thing that we're going to want to do, oops, pull that one. I have too many things going on here. All right, so now we've got it uploaded. We've dragged it into the box. There's us dragging it into the box. So now what we're going to do is click on Insert and choose Audio. So here's our insert. And we want to choose Audio. We'll want to click on Recent because if you're like me, you might have lots of files there. So the first one in your list should be your most recent file. If you click on it, then what will happen is it will be added into your slide. So I'm going to click on mine and I'm going to say select. the little blue button down here. And what you'll do is you'll get this gray icon. And what you can do is you can move this whole process or this whole thing around. Oops, I'm sorry, I shrunk mine. Okay, what you do is this is the audio sound. So move it wherever you want and size it however you like. And then when you're ready to share it with someone, simply turn to slide share. If you click on it.
And I say, hello, how are you today?
And that takes care of using audio. Again, the instructions are here for you to try it at another time if you didn't have a chance to do so right now. All right, so let me stop sharing for a minute and check and see where everyone is at. I'll look at the chat. Is everyone okay? Did you have a chance to practice it? Did it work for you? Anyone out there? Did it work, people? Or did I go too quickly? Yes, it did. Very good. Yes, very good. All right. At least we have a few people who will be able to use it or have used it right now. Okay, I saw a happy face. Very good. Again, the tool is really, really easy. Your biggest obstacle will be moving it from into the Google slide. And again, I hope the instructions are beneficial that you can practice it later. Again, I find it very useful. I found it very useful for helping students to hear me speak. I thought that was important. All right, so let me size this guy back down. He's a little on the big side. All right, so now that we have mastered that audio, let's go ahead and try our next tool. Bree, I think there's a question for the poll.
Should I launch the poll?
Yes, please.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
No? Oh, no.
Yes, 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 yes.
So the question, have you created video capture recording to add to your lessons or learning activities? Have you created video?
Yeah, audio is a whole lot easier to capture. Video is a little bit more technical. So we're at about 2575. So about 56 people have a chance to respond.
Someone commenting that they use PowerPoint for video and voice recordings, and this works. This is also good.
Yes, it is correct. Yes, but not everybody. If you don't have access to Microsoft's suite, it makes it more difficult. Google, it tends to be an open source platform, which is why I'm focusing on those tools.
Okay, I'm going to stop the poll. 78% have voted. So here's the results. 32% have used video capture and 68% not. And I'm going to stop share.
Okay, thank you. I can appreciate that. Again, video capture is a little bit more difficult if you don't have the software. So what I'm going to do is offer you a fairly simple, again, free software that will allow you to do video capture. So let me go back and share again. I'm using Panopto Express, which I do believe is available. We'll have a conversation about why video capture is useful in your classrooms. And then we'll have a chance to try it. Again, the tools that I have chosen tend to be free and also fairly easy for you to implement. Let me share my document again. I'm sharing it with you. I'm going to put it in the chat box. Stop sharing for just a minute. I'm going to put it in the chat for you. Oops. Okay. You should be able to access the document in the chat box. All right, so Panopto Express is a free online screen recorder. It allows you to record your presentations. You can do it directly through your device's camera, or you can mount a separate camera if you want the feed to come from that. So you can also leave video messages, both online, offline, using both your smartphone and your laptop. So what we're looking at here is the goals is creating video capture so that, again, you can have independent, flexible, asynchronous lessons that students can practice with. Adding the video capture does boost learning, and it can be used for formative assessment. These are very similar to your audio, and it offers a visual modality for student learning. So I'm going to show you a very brief Panopto Express, and then this one I created, it took me about 2 minutes.
Panopto Express is fairly easy to use. There are 3 boxes across the top of the page. Audio is the source of your audio. Panopto selects your system by default. Video is the video recorder. Panopto will select your default system. Your screens and apps, you have an opportunity to choose whether to show your entire screen, a particular window, or a particular Chrome tab. Once you choose Share, you're ready to go. Simply click the red button and recording will begin. When you're finished, click the red button again to stop it. The video will be processed in the background. You'll have a chance to examine it before you decide whether to keep it or begin again. Have fun.
All right, as the example shows, it really is a very quick tool to use, and it's free. So how might we use this tool in terms of applications? We can use it in our classes because we're working with English to help students refine their voice. Video capture is something that students can also do, where they can either listen to your tone, your voice, your pronunciation, or alternatively, you can have students capture themselves speaking English or responding to a question prompt or reading aloud or telling stories or role playing. These kinds of things will help build a student's sense of self-confidence. If they don't like the version that they've created, they get rid of it. They simply say redo. And when they redo, they have another chance so they can practice and ultimately provide you with the best case video of their performance. It provides enrichment. For example, if you want to introduce new content, say you want to talk about foods eaten in English countries, students can go out and they can capture images and videos and use that to support your content, your concepts, and your ideas, which is a way for them to be involved in the lesson, as opposed to yours simply providing a one-way directive on the content. It can be used for reflection. These video captures will allow a student to self-assess themselves and reflect on their language strengths or challenges. If I'm looking at myself speaking another language, I can hear myself, I can see myself, and I have some sense of how well I'm doing. It's also very good for testing proficiency. If a student prepares for you a short video of them responding to a question prompt or reading aloud, all you have to do is view the video and you can go ahead and assess what their proficiency is or their growth over time. So again, we don't have to be physically present with students in order to do the formative assessment or the summative assessments that we do in our classrooms. All right, now again, Panopto Express is readily available for those of you who weren't able to download the dialogue. Let me go ahead and put this in the chat for you. That should give you the same access to Panopto. All right, so what we want to do is the basic account, because the basic account is the free account. You can purchase it if you want to for different degrees of involvement, but the basic program allows you to capture up to 5 hours of video storage or 100 hours of streaming per month, which is pretty sizable for a month. The key for you will be if you start getting close to that storage or hour limit, I believe you can just delete old content in order to free up space. If you're still within your 5 hour limit and 100 hours of streaming capacity. All right, so now what I want you to do, if you would like, is to register for the basic account. So let me go back. You can, if you would like to, you can just practice your recording. My thing is going to take me directly to my account. Oops, it didn't. Good. Okay. All you need to do is, if you'd like to try today, is just simply click on Try Panopto for free. To sign up, just click on this. I have tied almost all of my application tools to my Google account so that it's quick and easy for me to always, yes, my email address is and my password is. Otherwise, I sometimes struggle trying to remember what password went with what account. So I'll give you a chance to go ahead and fill it in if you'd like to sign up today. I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute so that I can go ahead and grab my account. Before I do that, has everyone who wanted to, were you able to access the Panopto Express? If you just let me know in the chat whether it was accessible to everyone. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, good. I'm getting some yeses, so we know that folks were able to go ahead and access it. So now let me go back to my Panopto account. So this is, once you get inside, this is where it should take you. But let me go back to the instructions first before I get ahead of myself. And I sometimes do that, sorry. All right. So once you open your basic account, you'll have a folder, and the folder will allow you to record and home. You can create your video by using the create button and record. So at the top of the page, you'll find create. What you want to do is click on home just so that you know that you're in that folder. And then to create your video, you'll click on create. That will then take you to a page that says, would you like to do any of these things? And you're simply going to hit record a video. That will open up your recorder. So what you will see is this screen again. The audio button, if you click on it, should default to your system's audio automatically. Alternatively, if you have a second audio source and prefer to use that, you can switch. It allows you to do that. Your video should automatically default to your system's video. Unless you, for example, have an outside camera that you're working with, you can switch to that one. Under screens and apps, that's where you're going to select what it is that you particularly want to show. So that next screen under screen and apps has 3 options. You can show your entire screen if you pick this, window, and you may have some options under window, and Chrome tab if you're showing, say, documents or presentations. So you just need to pick what it is that you want to share. When you're ready, you click the red button to start. When you're finished, you click the red button to stop. And again, once you stop your recordings, you'll get another page that rolls up, and it will indicate that they're getting your video ready. So it's being processed in the background. And when it's complete, it'll say your video is ready. So then you have an opportunity to view it and decide whether you want to keep it or reject it. So if you say, oh, there's a flaw in it, let me redo it, you can do that. And it will set that one aside. Now, that short video that I just showed you, which is probably less than 1.5 minutes, it probably took me 4 tries to do it because I didn't like something in it. But the advantage is that I don't have to keep what I don't like. So the last thing you'll do is you will manage it. And when you manage it, what you'll do is set it so that other people have access to sharing the tab. So when I get to my sharing tab, much like I have with my Google's documents, I click this viewer with a link, and then down here it says disable. What you do is you click that one, and it'll say allow, and then you can go ahead and pick how you want to share it. You can share it as the link down here. You can embed it if you prefer, or send it out to Facebook or Twitter. So it's fairly easy to do that part. And also, if you run into problems, I provided you with a link to actually see the Panopto videos with regard to their instructions on how to do it. So let us go to the folder, and we'll go ahead and try one. So I'm going to go into my, well, in this case, it's my folder. I can go ahead and pick home. But what's key here is that I want to go ahead. Well, those are all the videos. So I'm going to hit create. And then I'm going to record. And here's my screen. If I click audio, it says I have 3 options here. I'm using what is called the microphone Blue Snowball, but this is my default system. So I'm going to pick this one because that's the one that I want to be using. For video, I only have one. It's going to be the camera that exists. I don't actually have to use the camera. Then screens and apps. I have 3 options. I can show my entire screen, which looks like this. I can choose just the Panopto window. I can come over to Chrome and I can pick one of these items that I have open. All of those are accessible to me. So let me go back to my window, and I'm going to pick this one. Okay. So now I'm going to get rid of this little secondary window down here because I don't want it, by going to the gear. What the gear does is provide me with some information inside the video. I typically don't touch any of these, but I do want my background to be off. Let's go back and hide that. Go back to my screen. All right. Still don't like that. Into my apps. Let me check. I've got so much open. So now if I want to record, all I need to do is hit the record button. I'll get 5-second lead here to indicate that I can pause. And then I can go ahead and start talking. And then when I'm finished, I'll just hit the red button again. And this is what comes up. This is they're uploading your video into the Panopto site. It's being processed. We can, once it's pretty well ready for you, you can go ahead and view it. If you hate it, like I'm going to hate this one, I'll want to record new. And I'll have a second, a third, a fourth, 100th try if I want to. Okay. Assuming that I don't have a problem with it and I want to keep it. I need to get down here. Manage should be at the bottom of my page. Just I have to stop sharing so I can get at it. Let me bring you back in. There's a manage button right here. If you click on it, the page should show up that allows you to trigger sharing. So this is the page. So here is share. Notice that it says public disabled. I'm going to allow it. So when I click on it, it allows me to choose a link. So if I want to do a hyperlink, I can simply copy the link. If I want to embed, I should be able to go ahead and use the embed code here. And once you've done that, you're all set for posting, allowing other people to go ahead and see what you have. Okay, so that takes us through a very simple tool that will allow you, should you choose to accept the challenge, to use video capture in your classroom. Any questions, any burning questions or comments that you might have that I can grab real quick for you? Okay, then if not, then I believe we have a new question. Have you used digital bulletin boards in your lessons or your learning activities? This is a tool that's not used very often.
All right. In the interest of time, I'm going to end the poll, even only 64 people have responded. And
Okay. I think we have a sense that digital polls are not necessarily being used.
yes, yes. All right. I'm going to stop sharing.
All right. So now let me take you to the next tool. This is our fourth tool. I use Padlet as my digital tool. So what I'm going to do is show you a collaborative poem that was written by the students in the springtime. Let's talk about why digital bulletin boards might be useful, and then we'll do a try it. This is a super simple tool again. So the tool is Padlet. Let me go ahead and share it with you. I'm going to put it in the chat box. Okay, so again, Padlet is a free tool. It does have some parameters. It allows you to upload, organize, and share digital content. And that content may be text, images, videos, files, hyperlinks. Whatever it is that's digital can be put into this digital board. What it does is it allows for interactive conversations, collaborations. It can help you see the thinking of your students. It allows you to display their work. So in terms of goals, I think the most important attribute it has is that it is a place for you to safely share student works. And I like to share student works. I think it's important for students to recognize that the things that they do aren't just something they have to get through, but something that has meaning. It does allow collaboration, and it is a visual modality for learning. So this is an example of the tool. Towards the end of my session with my students, one of the things that we wrote is we wrote an I am poem, which was done collaboratively. I introduced the first couple 3 words, and students together developed the poem. And they were able to fill it in. And when we were finished, I posted it to the Padlet because I wanted to share it with other persons. So this is one way to use the tool. All right, so what applications are beneficial in use with this particular tool? Number one, I think it's self-confidence or efficacy. Again, you think of a digital. So again, I was commenting that think about the digital blackboard as your refrigerator door. It is a place for you to post things that are student works. We love to do that for our own children's work, so it has the same effect. It allows collaboration, students can work. Can someone else download it? The
PowerPoint?
Padlet?
The Padlet?
It's the PowerPoint, it's just the Padlet. Am I? Why am I?
It's there now. I can see it.
You can see it?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
see
now
it. It
right,
says
now right.
applications, questions.
Okay, very good.
You're
Thank
good
you.
now.
Okay, good. I didn't know what happened. All right, so again, let me start over. One of the things that I like doing is, and I'm sure if you're a parent, you love displaying your own child's work. So the bulletin board here will allow you to do that with student work. The tool allows for students to collaborate so they can collectively respond to questions, they can write sentences, and this helps them build language skills without having to do it all on their own. There is benefit with shared knowledge. It's a way of enrichment. Again, students can go ahead, collect tools, and help you develop content that you're working on. There's teamwork attribute here where shared learning is important. It's also an opportunity for you to do exit tickets. You can post a question asking students, what was the hardest thing you did today? What was the thing you least understood? And you have collective responses for it. And also proficiency. You can use it for formative assessment or growth. All right, so now the tool again is free, but again, there are some constraints. Let me put it in the chat. The free version only allows you to have 3 active Padlets at a time. The way to address this is to retire or archive your Padlets to allow the work to clear your board, if you will, and allow new Padlets to be added. Bree, we only have how many minutes left?
We actually have, it's 6:25. We have 5 more minutes, but yeah, let's do what we can.
Well, I was thinking I would go to the next tool. This one is fairly self-explanatory, but I think they might enjoy the next one more. So we've introduced the next poll question.
Yes, sorry if I jumped the gun.
That's okay. That's okay. I'd rather jump to the next one. And let me get the sharing available. The next one is an interactive tool that's based upon gaming.
All right, so it looks like 51% have used interactive gaming in their lessons and 49% have not. Mhm.
Okay, so again, it's another one where we have about half using and half not using. Let me back up here a little bit. I want to share a link with you. So first of all, let me share copy the link so you have a copy. This is Kahoots. You may be familiar with it. It's an online game-based learning and quizzing tool. And what I would like you to do is to join. So I'm going to put that one back into the chat box and have you get a chance to practice Kahoots. All right. I'm going to try and run a session for you. It'll be quick for us. I sent you the join link. And so what I'm going to have you do is put the pin into the join link and play a quick game with me. All right, the pin link is 870-6389. And when you join, just go ahead and add a name. Again, you should be able to join from the link I sent in the chat box. There we go. We've got some people entering. We have 2 people participating. We got 3 participants. I resent it in case you missed it. All right, we have lots of people coming in. We have 10 people playing. All right, so now, in the interest of time, because I don't want to take longer than I'm supposed to, I'm going to go ahead and start the game. You can still join as long as you can use the link. Your first question. What digital tool provides engagement and real-time feedback? All right, we have 3 answers, 5 answers, 8 answers, 11. All right, we only have 2 seconds to go. Boom. All right, so the answer is Mentimeter. It is the tool that provides engagement and real-time feedback. So the way that this gaming tool works is it assigns players values for both their speed and their accuracy. So we get a scoreboard. So these are the first 5 people on our scoreboard. Question number 2. What digital tool helps students listen to voice, tone, voice, and pronunciation? All right, voice recorder. Awesome, everyone. Again, the scores change. People move up and down in the scoreboard depending upon their speed and accuracy. Question number 3. What tool provides a safe public space to display student works? This one stumped you. We didn't spend much time with it. All right, Padlet is correct. Sorry, we didn't spend much time with it. All right, again, the scoreboard will change and people will move. Okay, we have different scores, different players on the top. Question number 4. What digital tool offers a visual modality for student learning? All right, we got 10 answers, 12 answers. We have 8 seconds to go. Okay, 10 was correct. All right, so now again, a little shuffling on the board. Last question.
Go, Chris.
We got somebody out there cheering. Which digital tools and online game-based learning and quizzing platform? 12 answers, 17 seconds to go. All right, Kahoots, perfect. All right, now, this is our podium. We find out who is in 3rd place. Kaching. Angani, number 2. Number 1 is Chris. All right, congratulations. All right, so let me stop sharing. That was how we do Kahoots. Again, you can use it for a number of things. You can use it for encouraging student participation. You can use it for assessment. It's an opportunity for students to practice the tool over and over again. The instructions, again, are available in the Kahoots instructions, and hopefully they're clear enough for you to be able to follow through. It really is a fun tool. Of all the things I introduced when I was working with the students, Kahoots was the one they love the most. All right, I don't want to keep people over, and I'm sorry I ran out of time.
No, that's perfect. I think everybody was enjoying and they didn't really feel the time go. So thank you so much, Kay. We are really very, very appreciative of the trouble you've taken. I know presenting takes only the 1.5 hours, but to prepare a program like this, it takes a lot of time, and we can see the amount of time you have put in for this program, and we are so very grateful. We're also grateful for the time you spent with our students in, was it the Central Province or Uber Province? One of the two, in one of the rural schools. And we are very, very grateful for all the time you're putting in for Sri Lanka and the students here. We're also grateful to all the teachers who are with us today. Thank you very much, teachers. You actually are the backbone of any country. Every single person of a country grows and walks through your hands and, you know, gets impacted by your personality and who you are and your teaching. So we are all in awe of you, and we are all very, very thankful to the teachers of our country, because they are the people who mold our children. So very, very grateful for all of you. And we hope you learned, and I'm 100% sure we learned something. We learned some new stuff, and I can see lots of nice comments on the chat. And I want to also say, I'm just going to launch, sorry, not this, oops, I'm sorry. The next poll. I'm just launching this poll to get a feedback from you. And meanwhile, I want to tell you that we are having this similar programs every month. It's usually the last Friday of a month. And we will go on for 5 more sessions, and we look forward to your participation. Please do look at your emails, because that is the mode through which we communicate. So there is no other way that you will learn about this except through your email, and also maybe your WhatsApp groups. If you're government teachers, it will come through the Ministry of Education. So the other thing I wanted to say in terms of housekeeping is that there are a lot of questions there. So you have to go down, scroll down on that poll as you go along. The other thing I wanted to ask you was, and to get your okay with, is that we're going to put this session on YouTube, and it will be available to the public. So if you, I think it is my duty to ask you whether you are comfortable with that. And I have, if you do have a problem with that, please do communicate to me directly and send me a mail and let us know. So we do have all the other sessions on YouTube, and I'm hoping to actually share it with everybody. I haven't done that yet. And along with this session, we will also share the other 4 sessions that we have. We also have done a series on how to participate on Zoom, very tiny little fun videos, which tells you how to do simple things on Zoom, which you can use with your children if you are starting online. So this particular program, I think, is so very important to us right now. School is only 3 days, and we're going through hard times, prolonged hard times, I would say, for various reasons, starting with the Easter bombing and COVID, and now ending up with this fuel crisis and the economic crisis. So I think it's the time when courage and perseverance is up there. And so this is very useful, because we have to reach our students online, and making it fun for the students is important if we are going to get through to them. So thank you, Kay, and thank you, everybody. And I'm going to close this session.